This news update is brought to you by...
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Pure happiness will be connect to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today evening news update for Thursday, July 23rd. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary Claire Williams. Local disaster management officials are assuring the public that there is no immediate threat of a tsunami as a result of increased seismic activity at Grenada's underwater volcano Heightened. A statement from the UWI Seismic Research Centre says a strong continuous signal was observed on instruments monitoring the volcano from 1:25 to 3 a.m. today. The statement added that since July 11th, more than 200 small earthquakes of varying magnitudes have been recorded. Earlier today, the center raised the alert level from yellow to orange. An orange alert means highly elevated levels of seismic activity consistent with the small tremors which have been occurring over the past 2 weeks. The acting director of Disaster Emergency Management, Kerry Hines, says it also means there is an exclusion zone for the maritime community.
All shipping stays outside of what they have now called the first exclusion zone, which is 1.5 kilometers from the summit. And then they have further delineated a second exclusion zone where you're asking non-essential shipping to stay 5 kilometers clear of the summit. Now, we understand that the public is concerned, but we are advising persons to remain calm and vigilant and continue to listen to any updates that we will have on a frequent basis.
And the acting director of the Coastal Management Unit, Dr. Lorna Innes, also sought to allay fears of a tsunami at this time.
90% of the tsunamis around the world are caused by earthquakes, not volcanoes. And the other 10% would be triggered by volcanoes, by any movement, any major shift. It could even be a meteor that falls into the sea that causes the water to begin moving. At this stage, we are not under a tsunami alert of any kind. The orange alert, as mentioned, is purely because of the increased seismic activity and the possibility of an eruption.
She added, however, that there remains the possibility of an eruption until the seismic activity subsides. And she says now is a good time to review the national and household emergency plans.
In respect of coastal residents, because we anticipate that the seismic activity may continue as it did last week, during this alert, that all of us will need to be vigilant. But I think it's also a good time to review the plan that we have as organizations, as households. We need to review what we would do if a particular event occurred. And coastal residents would need to be particularly vigilant because, like I said, the threat of a tsunami is not non-existent, but it is low.
Meanwhile, officials from the Seismic Research Centre met with Grenadian authorities this afternoon, and researcher Lloyd Lynch says there is no need for people to move away from coastlines. He told the National Emergency Advisory Committee in St. George's that more minor eruptions can be expected before the system goes back to sleep. The UWI expert says there is no need for panic and people should go about their daily lives as normal. In other news, the war of words continues between Finance Minister Chris Sinclair and Opposition Leader Mia Mottley over government repayments of a loan from Credit Suisse. Earlier this week, government dismissed as a horrible untruth allegations by Mottley that the country had defaulted on a multi-million-dollar Credit Suisse loan. Sinclair said the statements could potentially undermine investor confidence in the island. Mottley later called on the finance minister to explain to the country the true status of the terms and conditions of the loan. And today, in a statement from the Ministry of Finance, Sinclair insisted that Barbados has met all of its obligations on time and as required under the loan contract.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Our valued partners for the BT Cropover Superstar competition: Flow, Banks, the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., Izumi Media, and Liberty Store.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Got it in my hand, yeah. My Barbados, my bank. Got to understand, yeah. My Barbados, my bank. Ain't nothing like a core bank spare. None of them others just can't compare. You just got to love that taste. It's a world-class thing this land makes. Whether I'm cruising or at a bar, whether I'm at home, my bank spare is never far. For this blessing, got to give God thanks. My Barbados, my bank.
In news from the region, a High Court judge in Jamaica today extended the bail of 3 schoolgirls accused of beating their male schoolmate. They were charged with assault occasioning bodily harm. The girls were arrested after a video of the incident was circulated via social media. They are due to return to court in October. On the international scene, officials in Greece will begin formal talks on Friday to negotiate the details of a new €86 billion bailout. It comes after Parliament approved a second set of reforms despite protests from anti-austerity demonstrators. We get more in this report from the BBC.
It was a marathon debate stretching almost until dawn. More than 30 MPs from the main governing party Syriza voted no, but crucially, the number of rebels was slightly lower than last week. The Prime Minister admitted that he didn't really approve of most of the deal that had been imposed upon him, but he was unrepentant.
We will not be cowed. We will not surrender. We will not apologise for lost battles. Lost battles are ones which were never fought in the first place. Our battles will plant a seed which will grow.
Many opposition MPs voted in favour, not to support the government, they said, but to safeguard the future of the country. A bitter pill for all to swallow. But it all means that formal negotiations on a third bailout for Greece can now begin. The timetable is tight. There's little room for manoeuvre.
And that's the evening news. For more news, log on to www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 on Lime TV or Mix 96.9 FM. I am Maricla Williams. Good evening.
Our valued partners for the BT Cropover Superstar competition: Flow, Banks, the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., Izumi Media, and Liberty Store.